Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Robbie1 Kenobi, the newest member of the YouTube wrestling community, and this is my Night of Champions 2014 pay-per-view review. The show just ended live on the WWE Network, and I gotta say, for the most part, this was a surprisingly good show. I know this show didn't have a lot of build, a lot of strong build going into it, but overall, I thought this was a good show, watchable. So let's get right down to my review. We opened the show with the Tag Team Championship match, the Usos defending against Gold and Stardust, and I thought this was a good opener. Going into this match, they had the whole angle where the Gold and Stardust injured Jey Uso. They attacked his left leg, and what was interesting was in the match they did a spot where Jey Uso was actually working on Stardust's left leg, and Jey was working on Stardust left leg. Like I said, good match with a result that I did not see coming. The finish comes when Jey Uso, I believe it's Jey, he goes for the top rope splash. Stardust gets his knees up, and then he counters with, Stardust counters with his knees to the gut, and then he rolls Jey Uso up for the 1-2-3, and yes, Gold and Stardust are now the new WWE Tag Team Champions. I honestly cannot believe that they won the belts. Nothing against them as workers. I've been saying for a while that I think Cody Rhodes deserves something better than the Stardust gimmick, but I will give him credit. He does pull it off well. He reminds me of Jim Carrey's Riddler from Batman Forever with the way that he portrays his character. But other than that, good tag match. And now I'm interested in seeing where the Usos go from here, and especially where Goldust and Stardust go from here with this tag team title run. Next match was, in my opinion, the match of the night: Sheamus versus Cesaro for the United States Championship. This was a hell of a match. This was a straight up fight. And going into this pay-per-view, I said Cesaro needed to win this match because he was riding with a ton of momentum since WrestleMania 30 when he won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal by picking up Big Show, body slamming Big Show over the top rope. And then the next night on Raw, he became the latest Paul Heyman guy, and I honestly thought he was set from that point on. But he hasn't done anything notable in recent months. He's a hell of an athlete, don't get me wrong, but he hasn't done anything notable. And I honestly thought this match he needed to win this match. And he did some impressive things in this match. There were two counters to the bro kick that I really liked. There was one where he did a baseball slide into a roll up, and I thought he had Sheamus there. But the one that really sticks out to me was Sheamus again Sheamus counters the neutralizer, and Cesaro lands on his feet. Sheamus goes for the bro kick, and Cesaro catches him in this torture rack powerbomb kind of move, I guess you could call it. And I honestly thought he had it there. Cesaro looked really strong in this match, and Sheamus looked strong too, don't get me wrong. But unfortunately, Cesaro did not get the win. Sheamus, the end of this match came when Sheamus was daring, he was begging Cesaro to keep fighting him, and Cesaro was just like pounding the hell out of him. And then out of nowhere, Sheamus with the bro kick retains the title. 1, 2, 3. So, I don't know what they're going to do with Cesaro at this point. My Miguel, a.k.a. freaking Yaya88, tweeted something the likes of Cesaro being held back forever, and I retweeted that on my Twitter account, and I totally agree with that. I mean, WWE has one hell of a talent on their hands, and they just don't realize it. They really don't know what to do with this guy. I don't know where Cesaro goes from here, but still, props to these guys. They put on a hell of a match. 3.5 stars, and my match ratings, star ratings will be below in the description box. Then we get the Intercontinental Championship match, Dolph Ziggler versus The Miz. This is the SummerSlam rematch, of course, and this match was disappointing. They had a good opener at SummerSlam last month. This was disappointing. It was decent, but it was disappointing. And this match was all about Florida Georgia Line. Yeah, Florida Georgia Line they were WWE's guests tonight because they were in Nashville, and they were doing commentary, and they actually got involved in the match. And I was calling it right from the start that they were going to somehow get involved and help Ziggler retain the Intercontinental Championship. They actually knocked Damien Mizdow, that's Damien Sandow, for those who don't know. They actually knocked Mizdow down, and they chased him off. But then Mizdow came back, and he got involved, and he allowed Miz to get the victory. Miz with a cheap roll-up, and he got a hold of the tights. So, yeah, Miz is the Intercontinental Champion again. I really thought Ziggler was going to win this match. He was going to retain the title. What can I say? This match was, like I said, disappointing. It was all about Florida Georgia Line. I mean, they could have done this on Raw if they were going to be hyping these guys the way they did, but it is what it is. After that match, they brought up the fact that Roman Reigns was not able to compete at Night of Champions because of the emergency surgery he underwent for an incarcerated hernia. And then Seth Rollins came out, and he cut a promo on Roman Reigns, talking about bringing up the fact that Roman was injured and that there's no excuse that Roman didn't show up, even if he did have emergency surgery, playing it off like the great heel that he's been for the past few months. And he did the same thing that he did at Battleground against Dean Ambrose when Dean Ambrose was thrown out of the building. He gave Roman Reigns 10 seconds to get into the ring and fight him. Ref counted Roman Reigns out. Rollins was awarded the victory by forfeit, and Rollins, this is pretty cool. Rollins said that it's not an official victory until the ref raises his hand, and then he issues an open challenge to whoever in the back wanted a piece of him. And conveniently, a taxi cab pulled up, and Dean Ambrose arrived, and he got one hell of a pop. Ambrose is way over like $1 million. Ambrose arrived, and they had another one of their classic brawls. And I mean, this is eventually leading to, and this better, in my opinion, lead to a Hell in a Cell match next month. I mean, you want to bring this feud to one hell of an end, you do it inside Hell in a Cell, because I think they could have one hell of a Hell in a Cell match, and probably the most significant Hell in a Cell match since WrestleMania 28 with Undertaker and Triple H, end of an era. But yeah, that was a good segment. Dean Ambrose, I'm happy to see him back. And like I said, he's way over with the crowd, and you could hear the crowd chanting, "We want Ambrose," when Rollins was cutting this promo, and I was just sitting there like waiting until Ambrose's music hit. The taxi thing was funny when I look at it, but I think what they should have done was just play his music, and he probably would have gotten even bigger pop than when he appeared on the Titantron. But still, Ambrose is way over, and I hope WWE does not drop the ball with him. He deserves a world title shot just like Rollins and Reigns eventually will get. Then we move on to Rusev versus Mark Henry. This was the first of 2 non-title matches. I really did not like this match at all. I felt it was very slow. Funny thing happened before the match. Lillian Garcia gave Lillian Garcia performed an amazing rendition of the national anthem. I mean, whenever it comes to Lillian Garcia and the national anthem, this woman can knock it out the park. She's a hell of a singer. And Mark Henry actually started crying. Now, I don't know if he got caught up in the moment or if it was just because of the whole match, USA versus Russia. But I saw some guys on Twitter, they were laughing about it. And I was like, there's no crying in wrestling. But other than that, the match I didn't like the match. It was slow. Mark Henry did have some moments, but other than that, Rusev got the win, and I predicted Rusev was going to win because I really didn't see Mark Henry winning and breaking Rusev's undefeated streak. That's going to be for somebody like Roman Reigns or maybe even John Cena. I saw a tweet suggesting it. Or hell, I'm going to maybe even Dean Ambrose. If Ambrose is somehow able to pull off a major upset, that'd be crazy if they had Dean Ambrose break Rusev's undefeated streak. But yeah, that could be a topic for another day. Then we move on to Randy Orton versus Chris Jericho. This was another very good match, and I knew this was going to be a good match. I always have this theory: if you give it doesn't matter who it is. If you give any 2 wrestlers or divas a good amount of time, they can most likely have a good match. And Randy Orton and Chris Jericho, they had a very good match. Everything was going good, in my opinion, up until the ending, because the ending was so predictable. I could see it from a mile away. Basically, Chris Jericho hits a code breaker out of nowhere. He suckers Orton in, hits a code breaker, and then he goes to the top rope. He doesn't get the 3 count, obviously. He goes for the 3 count. He doesn't get it. And then he goes to the top rope, and Orton's taking forever to get back up to his feet. And I immediately called it. He was going to get hit. Orton was going to hit a super RKO from the top, or he was going to hit a super RKO, countering Jericho's crossbody attempt, whatever he was going for, and he hit it. You know, the way they did it at WrestleMania 27 when Orton hit that move on CM Punk, that was great because it just came out of nowhere. But yeah, whenever it comes to some guy trying to hit a top rope move on Randy Orton, and Orton's taking forever to get up, you can pretty much predict he's going to hit an RKO, a super RKO, as I call it. But like I said, good match, 3.5 stars, the same rating that I gave Sheamus and Cesaro, but I think Sheamus and Cesaro put on a better match, in my opinion. Then we move on to the triple threat match for the Divas Championship. Paige defending against Nikki Bella and AJ Lee, and this was a solid Divas match. I thought it was good, decent. And I remember going into this match thinking that there was a possibility that Nikki Bella could win the Divas Championship, with the fact that she just got thrown into this feud all of a sudden with Paige and AJ, because, of course, she betrayed her sister Brie at Night of Champions. We did not see Brie get involved during the pay-per-view. She cut a promo where she said that Nikki and Karma were the same because they were finish the sentence. But, yeah, I thought this was a good Divas match. AJ got the win, surprisingly. She made Paige tap out to the Black Widow. And before getting the pin, AJ actually threw Nikki off the ring apron onto the floor. So I know we're going to get an AJ versus Nikki feud, because Nikki at one point was getting in AJ's face and pushing her around because AJ broke the 3 count up when it looked like Nikki was going to get the win with that torture rack backbreaker she does. But yeah, we're going to most likely get Nikki versus AJ for the Divas title. But what I personally want to see, because I like the feud between Paige and AJ, and I think they're 2 of the best Divas out there, though I think Paige is the better wrestler of the 2. Nothing personal against AJ, all due respect, because I love AJ. I want to see a best-of-5 series between these 2 ladies for the Divas Championship, because look at how many times the titles change hands between them. Paige beats AJ the night after WrestleMania. Then AJ comes back a couple months later, regains the belt from Paige. Then Paige beats AJ at SummerSlam, and then AJ makes Paige tap out to the Black Widow. Now I know the Lex Man, one of my personal favorite YouTubers out there, shout out to you, he wants to see a submission match between these 2, and I'm totally down for that. What I think would be cool is do 4 matches, they each win 2 of them, and then the final match is a submission match to determine the Undisputed Divas Champion. I'd be down to see that. But like I said, we're going to most likely see AJ versus Nikki for the Divas Championship. Then we get to the main event. Brock Lesnar defending the WWE World Heavyweight Championship against John Cena. Now, this match, totally different from the SummerSlam match. Cena got in more offense, like I predicted. The beginning to this match was a lot like the beginning of the first match. Cena comes charging at Brock. Brock picks him up, drills him into the turnbuckle, starts drilling him with shoulders. Then Cena hits an AA out of nowhere, and I'm thinking, oh, hell no. Like, if it ends like that, I was going to be pissed. But Brock kicked out at 1. And I thought that was pretty badass, because because anybody else would have kicked out at 2, but that shows you why Brock Lesnar's a friggin' beast. In terms of the match quality, I thought it was good. I thought it was exciting, because just to see Brock getting like the Kimura lock, which he never applied on Cena during their SummerSlam match, it wasn't the same match like I predicted. It was going to be different. Cena got in offense. I thought it was good storytelling. Brock was manhandling Cena at certain points. He hit him with 3 German suplexes, and I started counting like how many times every time Brock hit a German suplex, I kept count, because I wanted to see if he did 16 more suplexes or if he even did 20 suplexes. But the match was good. Cena hit Brock with 4 AAs throughout this whole match, and the third and fourth time I was praying that Cena did not win, because I seriously wanted to see Brock leave as the WWE, still the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Now we get to the finish, and this is undoubtedly one of the most screwiest finishes I've ever seen in any main event, world title match, whatever. So Cena hits a fourth AA, and I'm really praying that Brock kicks out because I honestly thought at this point Brock was not going to kick out. And then Seth Rollins comes out with the Money in the Bank briefcase and knocks Cena over the head with it. And that leads to the disqualification finish. I started thinking like, okay, what in the hell was this finish all for? Cena just got DQ'd. Don't get me wrong. I'm happy Brock is still champion. But Brock just got DQ'd. Rollins is coming out. Rollins just screwed Cena out of the title. And then I started thinking, okay, we're going to see a John Cena, Seth Rollins feud, which I'd like to see because I think they'd have some really good matches. And then Rollins looks at Brock. He notices Brock is laid out from the AA. And then I started thinking, oh my God, he's going to cash in his briefcase. He goes to the ref and he gives the ref the briefcase. Before he does that, he hits the curb stomp on Brock Lesnar. And I started marking out because I started thinking, well, if he cashes in Money in the Bank and he leaves the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, at least Brock didn't get pinned by Cena. Like, I started marking out thinking, are they actually going to go through with this? But, of course, Cena ruined it. He pulled Rollins out of the ring and they started brawling. He chased Rollins out. And the other thing that came to mind was I started thinking, please don't let Ambrose come out and ruin this cash in if they're going to actually have Rollins cash in on Cena. But then, or Rollins cash in on Brock, excuse me. But Brock got back up. He F5 Cena, and that was the end of the show. Undoubtedly one of the screwiest finishes I've ever seen. But now it's going to most likely lead to Cena versus Lesnar inside Hell in a Cell, which I'm all for. Because with that match, you can have those two guys really just beat the hell out of each other. Or you can have Brock just totally manhandle Cena again. And then finish him off. Get the 1, 2, 3. And end that feud. And then Brock goes on to feud with... I read the rumor going around is that it's supposed to be Brock Lesnar versus Big Show next. And I really don't want to see Brock versus Big Show. You know, I think a Brock Lesnar Sheamus feud for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship would be great because he's never wrestled Sheamus. Their Smash Mouth styles could lead to a hell of a match. If it's a street fight, a no-holds-barred match, falls count anywhere, I don't care. Let it be a gimmick match where they can just beat the hell out of each other. That'd be great. Or Brock versus Ziggler. Now that Ziggler unfortunately lost the Intercontinental Championship. Or Brock versus Ambrose. Like, that'd be the wild card match right there. But yeah, Brock Lesnar still WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And we're most likely going to get Cena and Lesnar inside Hell in a Cell next month. So overall, like I said, guys, Night of Champions 2014. Good show, watchable. The two matches I do recommend. Jericho and Orton and Sheamus and Cesaro. And I'm really hoping that WWE does something to restore credibility in Cesaro because he's a hell of a performer, like I said, and they just don't realize what they have in front of them. But overall, I'm going to give the show 7 out of 10. Like I said, I enjoyed it for the most part. Thought it was good. It's not better than SummerSlam, that's for sure, because SummerSlam was just an amazing show. And I definitely don't think the show was better than NXT TakeOver 2, but still, good show, solid show, 7 out of 10. So yeah, guys, thanks for listening to my very first audio pay-per-view review. I'm hoping to do more video reviews of the pay-per-views. Just got to make sure I got my webcam working and everything. But yeah, let me know below in the comment section what you guys thought of Night of Champions. Let me know what you guys think about the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view coming up. And until my next video, peace, take care, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and everybody have a good day, good night, and I'll see you next time.